Portugal 2, Nigeria 1. Nigeria actually show they can compete against the big teams in world football. They actually show resilience. They show commitment. They show they can put their own against some of the big teams in world football. Despite the defeat, the Nigerian Super Eagles show some glimpse of determination, show some glimpse of counter-attacking football, which Eric Chair really tried to instill, and he did it well yesterday. If not for little details that made the Eagles to have lost that match, Nigeria wouldn't have lost that match. Portugal came into this friendly as the prime favorites. Portugal were playing in front of their home supporters, and Portugal came with what? A star-studded team, a team that has this Ronaldo, a team that has Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, Semedo, Ruben Dias, Inacio, and the rest. This was a star-studded Portuguese team. The Portuguese side started strongly and managed to take the lead through Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto actually scored the first goal in the 23rd minute, but the Super Eagles didn't back down. The Super Eagles showed resilience. They came back. They were pressing, looking for an equalizer, and eventually, Akor Adams gave the Super Eagles the equalizer in the 35th minute of that match. Nigeria didn't stop there. They were playing a counter-attacking football against the star-studded Portuguese team. Portuguese actually had the largest share of ball possession, but the Super Eagles were playing on the counter and they were mindful of their defense. As the second half went underway, the Portuguese team had the largest share of possession. They were keeping the ball. Expectedly, if with a team that has Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes, they will hold the ball possession over your team. But the Super Eagles were more dangerous on counter-attack. They were dangerous through the counter-attacking football, which Eric Chell instilled on this game. This is why I love Eric Chell so much. He's tactically sound. He knows that he can't go head-to-head with Portugal. What does he do? He resulted in a counter-attacking football, which Nigeria actually exploited the Portuguese defense through Akor Adams. As the Super Eagles were playing on a counter-attack, they were also defending, trying to defend so that to keep this Portuguese star-studded team to 2.5 bay. But unfortunately, in the 75th minute, Francisco Conceição scored for Portugal. A brilliant goal from the young man who came in as a substitute. That was a brilliant goal. And also kudos to Maduka Okoye. He really had 4 fantastic saves in this match. I think this guy is laying his stake to the first choice goalkeeper for the Super Eagles. Now Nigeria has a lot of goalkeepers they can call upon. Maduka Okoye, Stanley Wambale, Ato Okonkwo. So the game actually ended Portugal 2, Nigeria 1. Despite the defeats, there are a lot of positive I want to take from this game. The Super Eagles actually impressed me as a fan of the Super Eagles. I was so impressed with the play. Forget the result, but I'm going to tell you some of the positive to draw from this game. One positive I'm taking from this game is the fighting spirit of the Super Eagles. After the Eagles considered that goal by Pedro Neto, they came back smoking. Their fighting spirit was just too excellent, and they got the equalizer, which is what I've been missing in the past in the previous Super Eagles team. They don't have that fighting spirit, but this team, Eric Chell team, he has imbibed that fighting spirit in this team. The second positive I'm taking from this match is Akor Adams. Akor Adams was a thorn in the flesh of the Portuguese defense. Akor Adams tore the Portuguese defense apart. He was physically imposing. He was strong. Oh, I wish Victor Osimhen played yesterday. Sure, there's no way Eagles will lose that match because he was disturbing Ruben Dias. He was disturbing Inacio. Akor Adams was disturbing the defense line of the Portuguese. He was imposing himself with his physical attributes, strength, physical attribute, and Osimhen also have these attributes. If only they play together, the Portuguese defense would have been sweating, gasping for air. Thirdly, Nigeria has shown that they can compete against the best teams in world football. They can actually compete among the best, pound for pound, flesh for flesh, toe for toe. The Eagles were able to compete against a star-studded team that had Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, Ruben Dias, Matuez, and the rest. Going forward, Nigeria need to be clinical in front of goal. Our attackers need to take their chances because we are playing against a team like this. You have to be clinical enough so that you can kill off the game. You understand? This is one lesson we need to draw from this friendly match against Portugal. And also, our defense line should always remain focused in every 90 minutes of any match. They lost focus. That was why Conceição was able to drive in and score that goal. They should be able to, let's take this positive and lessons from this game. Despite the defeats, I need to applaud Eritrea Super Eagles team. They actually did well. They put on a show that we have to be proud of. We should be proud of them. They actually show resilience. They show determination. They show they can compete against the big teams in world football. This is what I've been looking out as a Super Eagles fan. This is what we want to see. So guys, let me hear your opinion about this match between Portugal and Nigeria. Let me hear your own opinion. Do you think the Super Eagles did well enough to against Portugal? Or do you think Nigeria actually didn't really live up to the billing? Let me get your opinion about this match. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. One love.